Hello everyone. I hope everyone is well. So today is my 10th video, and I'm going to start by asking you guys a favor. If you will notice on the right hand side of your screen, there is a subscribe button. And for those of you that have watched my video since January, and like what I have to say, I'm asking you to hit that. I have currently, I think, 17 subscribers, and my goal is hopefully to get to 50 to 100 within a couple weeks. For those of you that are just watching this video, just seeing me for the first time, I spontaneously made a video in the middle of January, and I didn't even know I was going to make a video. Then I decided to post it or upload it to YouTube. And then I decided a week or two later that I was going to make another one. And now I'm up to number 10. So I've decided that I really want to try to grow my channel. So if you guys could help me out with that, that would be awesome. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks. So my topic today, so we're still talking about this 6-part medical system. And the 6-part medical system I had named our current medical system. And I changed this up a little bit. I think I had this included as number 6, and I got thinking about this. This cancer industry is huge, so I added that one. So now I put it under the heading of Rockefeller medicine, because that's really what our current medical system is. And so we started last week with this topic right here, which was abortion. And now we're on to this topic. Now this topic is complicated because I cannot say that word. So what I'm going to do is use a gesture, and I'll show you that after I'm done with this. So the third one is for pharmaceuticals or big pharma industry. The fourth, like I've said, is a big one. And they do call it that, unfortunately, the cancer industry. Childbirth. A lot of you might think, what's up with that? But childbirth isn't probably as natural as it could or should be these days. And this word finally, which I cannot say. So once a week, I hope to put a video up. So when we get to this one at the end of the 6 weeks, what I'll do is linked with the videos on this. I found a pretty good documentary that explains this and what that all means, and to kind of tie it in at the end. So with this topic today, first of all, I'm going to show you that gesture. So when I say that word I showed you, we're going to be talking about today, when I am supposed to say that, I'm going to point and do this. So before I get into anything, I just wanted to kind of give you something to think about that I wrote down on these boards here. So this is the name I can't mention, the rates. And you'll see from this year in 1980, people had 3 of those. Back in 2019, and even probably to present, or maybe there's even more now, we're 72. It's quite a jump. Quite a jump, isn't it? So there's more of a correlation if you want to kind of just critically think. Something to think about. And it's this. The autism rates. So if you look at, this is back when I was growing up, I don't know how many people remember having children that they went to school with that would be having considered autism. We had 1 throughout the whole school that I could ever say had it. So the stats for 1 in 2000. 2021, we now have 1 in 66, and this is age 5 through 17. Got to be something going on. Got to be. I mean, that's quite a hike. So it's just something to critically think about, because, they'll say, oh, there's no connection. Oh, there's been studies done, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's probably no studies being done. And even if there was, well, So when I started doing this research, I came across an interesting thing that happened in 1986 as far as it has to do with this. So in 1986, and that might help you to kind of connect what I just showed you there. Back in 1986, U.S. Congress passed the National Childhood Injury Act. Under this act, no shall be held liable for damages arising from that in any related injury or death. So basically, the manufacturers of this stuff, there's no repercussions. No repercussions. So why wouldn't we go from 3 to 72? You know, you make a product that is foolproof and you're covered. Why would it matter? We'll just up it from 3 to 72 and make lots of money. More is better, right? When you're talking about more is better. And these days, people think more of these, the better too. And that's the mindset that they've changed us with. So there is compensation for these injuries or deaths, but it's not by the manufacturer, because we've just learned that they're not liable, right? So where does it come from? So that's what I was wondering. So basically there's a tax, 75% tax. When they buy those, there's a 75% tax on it. So you're being taxed. So basically, as usual, you pay anytime you pay a tax, right? What are you doing? You're paying for it, right? A tax is what we pay. So we're paying. We're the ones paying for our own damages for that. So it's put in a pot, and it's like kind of like a trust fund, and it's sitting there. And whenever you need to access it, or when someone needs to access it, that pool of money is there. The interesting part about that, for these things being so safe, and the other slogan word, is that since 1986, there has been over $4 billion paid out for those injuries and deaths. So it's not so rare when you look at that. Even though, you know, most people will say, oh no, most docs will say, no, couldn't be that. Or they won't even go there. They won't even go there. So during my research, and I'm not going to go into a huge part on this, because the fact is, I like to find whistleblowers. I like to find whistleblowers that can tell you how they connected dots, how they knew something was up, how, you know, they started their research and that they just kept going down the rabbit hole. I want you to watch this video I'm going to put up, and listen to her, because it's very interesting, her story. So I'm going to give you a little bit of her story. I'm going to tell who she is. And when I'm done, I'm going to leave the links in the description box. So I came across this doctor when I was doing my research. Now, I did research probably about 3 years ago on this when I was writing my book. As you know, I've said before that I have wrote a book. I wrote a book it was called Deceived. And I put 2 subjects in there that I thought were very important to learn the deception. One was abortion, which we talked about last week. The second one here was about this. So when I was doing that research, it kind of all connected, because there's a lot of ways that the two of them connect. And if I ever get a chance to talk about it, and I probably will, I'm going to connect them, because there is big connections in them. And I'm not going to, and it's kind of graphic, and it's for another video. So when I found Dr. Suzanne Humphries, she does 12 hours now a day of research. And what sparked her to do that? So her story was that it was back when we were given, no, it was back when, yeah, I got to try to think about how to put this. And I think I can say these letters. It was back when the H1N1 was being given. And so she was a nephrologist, or a kidney doctor. So what she noticed was that her patients, that prior to having that, this, their kidney function was okay. It was proper. It was good. And then they got sick after that. Right after that, their kidney function changed for the worse. And I think it must have been in a significant amount. I don't know. There was one, I know she had said, there was one particular patient, I think, in the beginning that sparked her, but I don't know how many patients. But I don't think it took this woman very long to be, something's up with this. And of course, she tried to talk to her colleagues, and she tried to tell them, what she was looking into, because I think what happened is she started to look at the labs themselves, like just tried to look, like she tried to connect it and try to look at what all was going on with them, and then she wanted to present it to someone else in her field, and they wouldn't have it. And she said the only words that she could get from them, it was like the brainwashing, safe, and they're known to be, and that's it. And I don't know if people know what the other part to that, but I'm sure they do. It starts with an E. But that's what they told you. And she said that's what she was getting from her medical college, from her peers, all of, her doctor friends, they were just, they didn't want to hear it. They were safe. And I'm just thinking I'll connect it if I say that word. I don't know, maybe not. Safe and effective. So, they didn't want to hear it. So that changed her life immensely. So she goes into this video about how they lie with statistics on it. And she goes into the science of it. Well, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked at the way that some of them, especially back in the past, some of them were made. It's eye-opening. It's eye-opening. You think people were putting that in their body? Yeah, it's interesting. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go into a huge amount of discussion here about it. I mean, like I said, she has all the information. When you get a chance to watch it, it's a lot. When you get a chance to watch it, really, take in what she's saying, and think about the statistics that I just showed you. Think about, how they're always saying, oh, no, that's not caused by that. And, so, and the fact, I just showed you, there's 2 things out of 6 to do with that medical system that you can't even say here. There's something with that. Just think about that. Why can't you say them? Why can't you say those words? Why are they the way they are? So the last thing I'm going to leave you with, just talking about this, a little bit of personal experience. And I don't know if it's tied directly to it or not, but I mentioned it before that my oldest child, when he was 16, had an invisible illness. And nobody still knows what was wrong with him. Nobody does. But I can tell you, after, was it 5 years later, and still not knowing, he's okay now, and being awake and learning about some of these death by 1,000 cuts. That's basically what we call it. Jamie and I call it death by 1,000 cuts, because that's what it is. It seems like from every angle there's something that's going to hurt you and not very good for you. So from learning about the ways that they do that, death by 1,000 cuts to us, I can tell you I've narrowed it down to 2 things that I'm pretty sure happened. And one could have been the topic we're talking about today, and maybe in combination with radiation poisoning kind of thing from his tablet, just excessively using it. Neither thing was ever that word we're talking about today. That subject was never mentioned, and he was in the thick of it. He was 16, so he was on the schedule at the time. It's right till 18, right? I mean, he was getting them, but not a mention. Not, have you had one recently? Not nowhere in there. And I'm just saying there is something wrong with that. And it's like this right now with the latest that we have, right? Their first tote is safe and effective. Safe and effective. Keep on the schedule. Did you get the next one? And that's it. And the pharmacy, doctors, everybody, just, have you got one? Get it again. Not bothering to think that maybe, your issues could be coming from that. So just don't want to talk about it at all. So I'm going to try to find a really good documentary, because there's the old, these, and then there's this new technology that we have right now. right? With that last subject I showed you on the whiteboard with the, starts with C. So I'm going to try to find, because it's a totally new technology, totally different, and it's not even close. I'm going to try to find and pin that to this, something really good on that, and pin it to the description box as well. So anyway, I hope you get a chance. I'm going to pin as much as I can. I'm hoping to get at least 4 or 5 links up there. So if you guys could take a look at them, and I would love comments. I want feedback. Tell me what you think would make my channel better. I can take, criticism, constructive criticism. Tell me, do I rock too much? Do I stutter too much? Do I need to make sure I can edit? Just tell me what's really bothering you about my videos, or tell me what you do like. Tell me what you want to see more of. I would really, really love to see some comments on this video. So anyway, I hope you all have good rest of your day. Goodbye.